Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
Starting to loop on me. Ha!
Double header.
Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special supplemental episode of Wildcard Cinema. I'm your producer here at the Full Circle Radio Network, JJAlexander. Joining me is one of my co-hosts tonight, Greg. Unfortunately, Mark is a bit under the weather. He's been under the weather for a little over a week. We wish him well. He'll be joining us for season 2. Don't worry. Just, sometimes life gets in the way of life. So we're going to do what we do without him. He's given his blessing. So this won't be as long of an episode as usual, probably, but we decided that in between seasons, we would decide to do a kind of a year in review of movies that came out in 2024, since usually the movies we pull don't necessarily fall in the realm of recent. So this gives us a chance to talk about stuff, and going forward, in case there may be like some gaps in between the usual 2-week episodes we do, we may do a supplemental episode like this here and there. So we just decided that we will do what we do with this, and come near the end of the episode, I will give everyone here a brief rundown of what season 2 is going to entail. I will give those a reminder of the rules of Wildcard Cinema, because this is not your typical episode. So that way people can get acquainted with what we do. Also, the fact, welcome any new viewers who may be watching us. I know we got a shout out the other night from Marvin the Movie Monster. I appreciate that greatly. So here's hoping we've got some new eyes on the product, but I've been yapping too long. Greg, how's it going?
Hello. It is going pretty well. Happy 2024.
You mean 2025?
Oh, wow. Well, yep. Happy 2025. I got 2024 on the brain because
we're off to a stellar start.
The retrospective. I got it on the brain, I guess.
Yeah, we haven't recorded since before the holiday season. So, well, I did before the holidays.
I actually kicked off my theater going of 2025 today by seeing a musical biopic starring a CGI monkey. So,
is that what the fuck is it called?
It's Robbie Williams' biopic.
Yeah.
Better Man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen.
I saw some trailers for it.
I know you're not on TikTok, but apparently Americans are very mad that a movie is happening of someone they've never heard of.
But Robbie Williams has had hits in the States.
Actually, not really.
I specifically remember one of his music videos being played at nauseum back in the early 2000s.
Yep, that's the song that they tried to break him into America with, Rock DJ. It really didn't chart too well or anything, but they definitely pushed the hell out of it.
I don't even remember the name. I just remember seeing it play, because I remember the first time I saw it, I was in a bar in Times Square. And I just remember seeing the video on the screen. It was the one where like he keeps stripping and then like he starts pulling off his muscles. Like,
Yep, Rock DJ, and it never broke. Actually, it's funny because he's sold 75 million albums worldwide, and it's huge. But
I remember him for Sin Sin Sin.
Okay.
So
he just never worked here. I don't really know why, but I had a friend in college that played me one of his songs driving home from a party, and after that, I just bought pretty much all his albums when they came out because I dug it.
Cool.
So yeah. Interesting concept for a musical biopic. I'd rather have a CGI monkey than like Remy Malik making gestures towards guys that like Freddie Mercury. But I digress.
You just gave me an idea for what I need to use for the outro song.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
Perfect. There it is. Good. Now I know how to load it. Awesome. But yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting. I know that there's some movies that Greg saw this year or this past year that I didn't. I know there's some movies that I saw that he didn't. I tried to get my co-host Joanna to join us for this. That we just finished. Like, for those of you watching, you may notice there's another show that just dropped at the same time as this. Literally, there's been a 45-minute gap in between me recording them. She almost joined us for it because she was interested, because she complained to me actually on an episode of White Heat. You're going to do a movie cast without me? I'm like, it's a different animal. But it would have been great if she was here, because I know that both of you have seen two movies that I did not see this past year. So,
well, you can bring it up. You could bring it up at any time, and I will talk about it.
But yeah, because I'm trying to figure out a way to go about this. Because like what I have is I have my Plex drive on the side here with stuff checked off that I've seen, and I have 2024 at the top, and stuff's in alphabetical order. But I'm not sure what I have seen and what you haven't. So I'm trying to start with something that I guarantee we both saw.
Okay.
Did you see Deadpool and Wolverine?
Of course.
All right, good. We can start there.
There we go.
So what were your thoughts?
Liked it very much. Kind of hard to live up to the hype, obviously.
Yes.
But Marvel's had a little bit of a down spell. So
yes.
I really enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty clever. They actually did a lot of things I would not think Disney would let them do.
True.
But hey, listen, they smartly know what the brand is and let them run with it. I heard they actually did make them take out one joke, and it involved like Mickey Mouse's dick.
Yes. Yes.
So, hey, I get it. You don't want to push it too far, but yeah. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought pretty much career best Wolverine work from Hugh Jackman. Really, really excellent.
I'd say second best Wolverine work, because I still think Logan was his best character work with the character.
And then I just thought to myself, well, that's dumb to say that, because Logan exists.
I mean, this was still great. And it really was, it was a lot of fan service to not only the movie franchise fans, but also the comic book fans, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. They did. Yeah, it's so funny too. I think we've talked about this before, but I was telling anybody who would listen before the second Doctor Strange movie came out that Chris Evans would show back up as
Human Torch.
Yeah. And then I still bought the fake out when I should have seen it. I should have seen it coming the whole way, because I had said it prior to a different movie.
Yeah.
So that's on me. I dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. I did kind of OD on Easter egg videos after it came out. Just because there's been so many made, shout outs to Heavy Spoilers and Screen Crush. They're two of the best channels for stuff like that. Just so much stuff that even I didn't pick up on, but I was sitting there in the theater like, that's it. I was fanboying out. The only thing that surprised me was I honestly, truly, it wasn't a hope. I honestly thought from an economic standpoint that movie was going to be Endgame for box office. And I'm surprised it didn't.
Well, that's that's tough. I mean, you're talking about Endgame is the culmination of this entire huge thing, and
right. But when you think about it, so was this.
True.
This was the farewell to the Fox universe, and the collaboration of it finally coming into the Disney MCU, which they really paid homage to in the credits with all of the outtakes from the old X-Men movies.
Maybe if there wasn't a COVID and there wasn't a Marvel's backlash or an Eternals snooze from people, maybe it would have done that,
maybe.
So, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was fun. I've watched it a couple times on home video. I'm old on streaming since it's come out.
Yep.
yeah, so it was enjoyable, and it has me looking forward to the next couple of Marvel projects that are coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm excited just because I'm hoping they finally nail Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
obviously Thunderbolts asterisk is something different, so that's cool.
they're good. I know what the asterisk is.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be revealed, like, because at the end it's going to say Thunderbolts and it's going to cross out and it's going to say Dark Avengers, because that's what they're leading to, is the Dark Avengers.
Okay,
which I'm completely for.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm still into the MCU, for better or for worse. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, this is going to be a banner year because we're going to get 3 movies and we're going to get 4 TV series.
Yeah. Daredevil, which, obviously is the headliner.
Yes.
Daredevil,
Born Again.
Yep. And, I think a couple carts animated. Yeah.
The Tales of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's animated, and the Tales of Wakanda, which is only a 4-parter, but that's animated.
And Ironheart is this year or no?
Yes, Ironheart is this year.
Okay, so those are the 4 shows.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said, even the down stuff, like Secret Invasion was pretty bad, but I mean,
I liked it. I mean, the blow off was kind of weird, but as a series, I don't see why it got so much hate.
It's like it's fine. I mean, it's so I don't even hate any of the stuff that, and like, for say what you want about Eternals, like
I know you and I both liked Eternals.
I like it because it's a Chloe Zhao movie. Like it's not a Marvel movie, but
right.
It's a Chloe Zhao movie, and if you like Chloe Zhao, like you're gonna like it. I mean, I would think anyway. So
yeah,
they can. That's the problem with the MCU, though. Therein lies the problem with it. Like, people complain like, oh, it's so cookie cutter, and they really like it's homogenized, and they don't do anything different. Well, then when you let someone like Chloe Zhao do something different, and people say, oh, that's no good. Well, then what are you doing then? Like, you weren't going to get, Edgar Wright's Ant-Man at this point if you're not going to show up to see Eternals. So
right. Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, so 1 down. All right, let's see here. You saw Beetlejuice, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I finally watched it. I think around Thanksgiving, me and the wifey sat down and watched it.
And what did you think of the Beetlejuice squared?
I liked it. I know that's another one that Mark saw several times in the theater, as he mentioned on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked it enough. I mean, it's a movie that I think I told you guys before we recorded. I was expecting to be an unmitigated disaster from the minute it got announced. Yeah. And I didn't think it was that. So, that's clears the bar for me.
Yeah. No, it was fun. They got around having Jeffrey Jones in it.
Yep.
It amazed me how much the Charles Dietz character was still in it, even given that.
Yeah. It was clever at points. I thought, I mean, another low bar to clear, but I thought it was Tim Burton's best movie since Big Fish. So, I mean,
I love Big Fish.
You're going on 20 years,
Yeah.
So.
And you know something? You just reminded me of something. It's the one thing I forget every time.
Oh, spoiler alerts. Spoiler warning.
Yeah. Where the hell did you go? I added new sound effects, so now I don't know where it went. Where is it? There it is. Spoilers ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Because, I'm sure we're going to give away shit on a bunch of movies on this.
For sure. So I liked it enough. I thought Keaton slipped right back into the character, like he's been doing it like on off Broadway. He seemed like he's been doing it on a stage for like every weekend.
Yeah. It was it was fun. I was the only thing I felt like the Willem Dafoe character, like it was there, but then like had no major play, like no major role in the climax of the movie.
I mean, that's what you can really bag the movie for is there's just way too many subplots. I mean, Monica Bellucci, you don't need Monica Bellucci and Willem Dafoe. You could use one or the other.
Right.
You don't need the marriage between Winona Ryder. Like, you don't need that subplot. Like, it's so much. There's so much going on, and it's like, and if you go back and watch the original Beetlejuice, it's so simple.
Right. Like, I remember when the trailers came out, I had a completely different thought process of what was going to happen in the movie. Because obviously Monica Bellucci was there because she replaced Helena Bonham Carter as Tim Burton's "You're my girl, you're in my movies." I honestly thought they would have gone a different route and had Monica Bellucci play Lydia's birth mother. And especially because they mentioned it was Beetlejuice's ex-wife, I thought they would have been like, Beetlejuice being stuck in the afterlife married Lydia's birth mother because he couldn't get Lydia, and that would have been the controversy. Like, I think that would have been an interesting plot if they had gone that route.
Yeah, as you know, I tried out. I didn't even see the trailer. I try not to watch them. So, but I did know that I was certain that the plot device to get everyone back together was
Charles dying.
Because obviously they weren't gonna have him back. So it was logical. And then I said to myself before I saw the movie, well, that doesn't even make sense because they would see him as a ghost. They also found a way to get around.
Yes, exactly. This is what you look like when you die.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I know that he's going to be dead, and that's how they get back together. But then they can see him, and that won't make sense. And no, it makes sense. So.
I love that it was the giant slap in the face that they were like, we're going to show his death scene, but it's claymation.
But I also think that lent great to like Burton as a as a throwback to what he definitely. So I thought that was really good. But yeah, I liked it. Didn't love it. Didn't make. I do have a top 30 list that I run, and didn't quite get there. I don't know, but I generally was favorable to it. I know my brother watched it and said like, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't get that from that movie. I don't think that. I don't get that from that movie. But.
No, I thought it was enjoyable. And I thought it's one where like I could go back, I could watch both the old and the new as a double feature again, and that'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose one or the other, I'm obviously watching the first one every time. But
but
yeah, no, I mean, not bad. Fun time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let me see here another movie that we may have both seen. Oh, I know we both seen Heretic.
Yes, and that was all the way up at number 7 for my list this year.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to start with your thoughts.
I think the trailer did give away a little too much, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the discourse and the entire the whole second act in the film where Hugh Grant is doing the explanation and like with the Monopoly game and the landlord game, and then with the combinations of the songs and everything, because I actually teach a course every year. It's an introductory course, but I teach a course about comparative religions and where they intersect. So that whole segment was kind of like stuff that I talk about in the class that I teach. Mm-hmm. So I really fucking dug that. As far as what it led to, it like the big reveal of when she goes down and stuff, and like rewatching, seeing that there's an actual drawing of Dante's Inferno on the wall, which at the first I thought was just a chandelier, but yeah, it was a drawing of Dante's Inferno and how she has to keep going down. The part where the reveal of kind of what he's doing reminded me a lot of it's a creepypasta story that came out some years ago, but one of the podcasts I listen to is called Creepcast, where they read popular old creepypastas and they they act out some of the stuff in it. And it reminds me a lot of this story called Baraska, where I don't want to go into too many details. It's a very fucking disturbing story, but it like the whole scene of him with the women in the cages was almost like a direct pull from where that story leads to. And so I automatically got flashes of that. And I went, Okay, this is heavier than I thought.
I got to ask you a question about that because
Yes.
most people's complaint with the movie is the third act. What did you think?
It's weird. It's because I know there's a lot of discourse on whether she actually made it out at the end or whether she's imagining it and she's actually dead, and whether everyone's actually dead
because of the butterfly.
Because of the butterfly, and because of the fact that the girl who got killed was like dead for 22 minutes and then comes up.
Yep.
You know, especially after gets slashed in the throat and in the arm, like. I mean, it could be a miracle. Like, it's weird. It's up to everyone's individual interpretation, which I think is what the writer and director were going for.
Yeah.
Because much like your interpretation of religion, your interpretation of how it ends is up to your beliefs.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I loved the first 2/3 more than the last. Not because of the character seemingly dying and whatever, and I like ambiguous endings anyway, so that's it's just, you know, he's got women in cages down there, and they probably should all be dead with the way they're being kept and whatever. But you know, you guys suspend a little disbelief or whatever. I also don't even think it needed that. They could have written it a certain different way where
they could have.
He's still a terrible guy, but I don't know that. I mean, the first, even if you just judge it on the first 2/3, like, just wow. I mean, Hugh Grant, man, like what a fantastic performance.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know he made his bones as like a rom-com guy, but he's so much better a villain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Paddington 2. He's tremendous in it.
No, I refuse to watch the Paddington movies.
Yeah, they're good, man. I mean, they are. But
it's one of those things with me where no, I don't.
Yeah, the villains in those are great. I think the first one is Nicole Kidman. Yeah, and she's great. And then Hugh Grant's amazing in the second one. And then
that's what I've heard.
He's a villain in the Dungeon and Dragon movie, really good. And he's got a good run of playing just dastardly fellows. But and I think it also helps that Sophie Thatcher and the other actress, I don't remember her name, they were both raised Mormon.
Oh, okay.
Well, Church of Latter-day Saints is Mormon, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so they were both raised Mormon. So they obviously have, background with it.
That helps a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but it was great. Even for a movie that's like shot in a majority in a living room, and then when they go downstairs, it's it's kind of dark and you can't do too much with the camera. That opening sequence where they're walking down the stairs and how it's shot and everything, these guys are pretty good. Scott Beck and Brian Woods, they're pretty good. I will say the one missed opportunity with the movie is they touch back on how Holly's sued Radiohead, and Radiohead sued Lana Del Rey, and he plays them the original song, and then he pipes it into the pipe, the creep into the pipe afterwards, and then you think as the credits roll, Lana Del Rey's "Get Free" will be the song,
but no, instead
it's not.
It was what was the song they used? I remember I Shazammed it right away because I was like, who's covering this? Because it was a cover song.
It's Sophie Thatcher covering.
Yeah.
It.
Okay.
And it's a song sung to the melody of a different song. So I get what they were doing there too, but you could have just used the Lana Del Rey song.
They could have. Maybe Lana Del Rey's people wanted too much money for the rights.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
Or
so
maybe because the lawsuit was referenced, they were like, no, we're not going to let you use it.
Yeah, I don't know, but again, Heretic in my top 10, loved it. Big year for horror and thrillers for me because
there was a lot of good horror this year. Also, I'd say another banner year for A24. Let me bring up another A24 movie that I know we both saw. I'm assuming we both saw was Civil War.
Number 3 for me this year.
Nice. Yeah, I can't. I didn't sit down and rank stuff, but I know what I liked.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Civil War was
I do a rank every year just for on my Letterboxd, and then I post it on Facebook usually so people can see it and get because people don't watch. A lot of people don't watch movies like we do,
Right.
pour over them, so they don't know what's going on. They, a lot of the and I listen. I'm not saying any of this is bad or anything, but a lot of people just turn on their Netflix and what's number one today is what they put on, and it's like, okay, great, because people are watching that, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could watch instead of what's number one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that reminds me, there's one of the movies that I didn't get to speed run through was enough. I didn't watch Axel F. I wanted to, but I didn't get a chance to.
yeah.
But anyways,
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Civil War. I saw it in the theater, and it was one of those like sat through the credits, just sitting there going, shit. Like it hit, and honestly, the Oscar nominations have not come out yet, right?
No, they're voting on them right now.
Kirsten Dunst deserves a fucking nomination for that movie.
I agree. It looks like Civil War will get probably nothing other than maybe like a technical nomination based on how the the other awards stuff is shaking out. But yeah, Kirsten Dunst was great. I mean, it's been a pretty banner like 18 months straight for Kaylee Spaney. Just crushing everything. I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
Have you seen Alex Garland's 3 other movies, or just 1 or 2 of them, or
what were the other movies?
So, Ex Machina and Annihilation are 2 of my favorite movies in the last decade.
They're on my list that I literally have been wanting to get around to that I haven't yet, but I heard nothing but good things about both.
All right, so those movies are both better than Civil War, so you can So you can go see that. He also made a movie right before this called Men, which I wasn't hot on at all. Technically speaking, great acting. I can still respect the direction, just narratively and like the allegories he was going for, the metaphors. I just didn't care. So I was a little worried about Civil War, and because I don't watch trailers, I didn't really know what to expect, and I was kind of like off the Garland train for a minute there. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking fantastic. I mean, he plays it perfectly, not labeling one side or another. You don't even know who's on what side when you see them anywhere. You don't know why they're doing anything other than that the president has been there for 3 terms.
Yeah,
and no one seems happy with him. That's the only thing you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it just throws it back to like Vietnam War journalism, which is like such a great idea.
Yes.
There's been a few movies this year that are like steeped in like photojournalism. The Bike Riders is another one that missed my top list. I was in my honorable mentions right outside the 30.
I didn't get to watch that, but I wanted to.
Very good. I mean, it's a little Goodfellas light, if you will, with like Bike Riders. It's but I thought it was really well done. Also based on a photojournalism book. And then I forget what movie I just saw in the last like 2 weeks or so, but I'm going to try to bring it up on my Letterboxd quick. But it's just another movie that kind of throws it back to those photojournalism, and I don't know why it's like a ripe thing to do, but it is like for whatever
I think
reason.
it might have just been a happy accident of those movies all coming out in the same time period.
Yeah. It's funny. I find that happens quite a lot. Like you just get, you get a glut of some stuff once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't see it off the top of my head here, so not too important, but yeah. So. I love Civil War. One of the few movies I rewatched and bought already this year.
Yeah, same here. I watched it several times. And I'll honestly tell you, as someone that doesn't watch trailers, the trailers really didn't give away anything about the movie. That was one good thing, was the trailers are very ambiguous.
Yeah, so, companies need to get better at that. So
Right. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. Once again, amazing work by A24, because this was their first like big budget movie, and it's a good thing that it made money. Because that really would have made or break, was a make or break for them, was like, can we do big budget or are we stuck doing small stuff?
Well, they do a lot, at least when they started, they just were doing mainly acquisitions. They see something, they buy it.
Yeah. You know what the first widely released movie that they acquired was?
You're going to tell me.
Yep. Darren Aronofsky's Pie.
Oh, I didn't even know that they did. Okay, well,
way back.
I didn't know it went that far back.
Yeah.
Because I knew it started like to open the floodgates when they released Inside the Mind of Charles Swan, or one of their bad movies.
Yeah.
But that's when they really started like opening the floodgates and releasing everything.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of A24, I projected about 5 years ago that Apple would buy A24.
Yeah.
And they did not. And they should have. They want their streaming service to be a destination for something that would have been perfect. And I had people tell me, well, why would you want them to do that? They'd ruin it. I said, no, they purchase it and leave it be. You just let the people run it. Like a good football owner. You just put the people in place and you sit back.
The problem is, though, with the larger companies is they don't know how to leave well enough alone.
I think Apple would. Apple, I don't know if you subscribe to their service, but they have the best quantity to quality in terms of their television shows. They don't put out a ton, but they're all very, very good. And they also want star power on their service. So they really leave people alone. Like they swallow the checks and they cut big ones and they just let people do their thing. So I would have liked to see that have happened, but because again, I am a huge A24 guy. I love pretty much everything they put out. So
yeah,
they have a miss here or there, but it's to be expected.
Yeah. But yeah, staying on the A24 train, I believe we both saw MaXXXine.
Yep.
I liked it. Do I think it's a suiting conclusion to the X trilogy? I'm not sure. I think they could still do some stuff with it if they wanted to make another movie. But I enjoyed it. I know that I'm in the minority where a lot of people think Pearl is the best in the trilogy. I liked X the most, and I would put MaXXXine as my second.
Okay. Yeah, I like Pearl the best also. I would rank X like a hair behind it. I have them both rated the same number.
Yeah.
I just think Pearl from a filmmaking perspective is such a leap. Like it's got all the pastels and the
steeped in Technicolor.
Yeah. It's got the pistache. It's whatever. It's
pastiche.
Yeah. It's terrific. And I think Mia Goth gives the best performance in that movie out of all the three of them.
Yeah.
Like she's phenomenal. That one monologue she has towards the end of Pearl should have won her awards. That. If awards go to people fairly. I do want to say, while award season and awards are kind of bullshit, and sometimes a popularity contest, most of the time, who runs the best campaign to win them, they do matter only because they lead to said people being able to get more opportunities, make more money, make more movies, make bigger budget movies. So, I have friends who say like, "Oh, who gives a shit? They're stupid anyway." And like, yeah, but they actually matter to the people that make these things. So
especially because like Mia Goth is an amazing actress, and you don't want to just pigeonhole her as being a scream queen.
100%. And if she had been able to get nominated for any of that too, she would have just gotten even bigger roles. But hey, she's doing her thing. She's killing it. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna see that swing happen probably for Demi Moore, because she's going to probably win the Oscar this year. Now it looks like if she can win the SAG award, she's probably going to be a lock to win the Oscar.
And she won the Golden Globe.
And she's never been nominated. And she's at an age now where she even says, like, I don't even get the roles, but you win that Oscar and you are going to for the next 10 years. Right. So you are going to get your extended career, So
we're getting ahead of ourselves on that, though. Let's circle back to that.
Sure.
Since we're on an A24 kick,
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about MaXXXine before I move on?
Oh, I liked it. Didn't love it. I liked it. I thought Kevin Bacon was really great. Playing like there's a lot of like two Jakes in Chinatown.
Yeah.
In that
I think they
era.
could. I would have liked to see a little more Giancarlo Esposito's character.
True. I think he at this point is a little bit not played out, but he's almost pigeonholed in a certain certain role type of role.
You think?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, we'll see. He's going to be in the new Captain America, so
yeah. Which I assume I kind of see where that's going to be. I kind of see where that's going to land. I mean, he's a great actor. He can do different, which I hope that people start kind of letting him do different.
Yeah.
But
because he's the dastardly villain a bit too much.
Yep, and I liked. I'm pretty sure her friend that gets killed quickly is Moses Sumney. He's a
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Is it yeah, Moses Sumney. Yeah, he's a singer. And he's been in some good stuff, and some bad stuff. He was in The Idol, but so yeah, he's good. But yeah, I like MaXXXine. I like the gritty 80s of it.
Yes.
I think Ty West does a good job of really absorbing an era of these.
Yeah. Ty West, guy who made good Shooting in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, The Innkeepers.
I saw a picture of him going through my IMDb. I mean, my Letterboxd year in review, and I was like, "Oh, Ty West is a white dude." I don't know why I didn't think that, but I think just the name Ty. I'm like,
I think it's because it's spelled T.I., and so automatically people think of T.I. the rapper.
I kind of think that too. Yep, I thought it's the same thing, but yeah. So no, yeah, I like MaXXXine. Any other A24 stuff on your mind?
Yes, there is, because I'm pretty sure I ran it by you to see if you saw it, but one that I just saw last week, or right before New Year's, was I saw The TV Glow.
Yep. Also on my top 30, just sitting at 19.
Oh my god, that was a fucking ride.
Yeah. A movie similar to Beau is Afraid that wears what it's trying to convey right out in the open, and most people think it's subtext or don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And my friend even said to me yesterday, he's like, "That's not a horror movie." I'm like, "Well, it is a horror movie if you're a trans person or a trans or a person who doesn't know they're yet trans,
right, someone who's non-binary.
Yeah, I mean, Jane Schoenbrunn, I don't know if you've seen her other movie, We're All Going to the World's Fair.
I haven't, but I want to, especially because it was leading into this movie where I found out what other movies they had made, and I put them in my list, but I didn't get a chance to see them yet.
So I watched that the night before I saw the TV Glow, just to get a little bit of the flavor, and it's a much smaller scale film, but not super different. Definitely not as neon drenched.
Yeah.
And
I think that gave such a character to the movie, though.
Oh, I mean, that opening shot with just intense green neon, and then they have the one scene with the Fruitopia machine. It's like it's pretty incredible. I do have a few things. It's funny. Part of the other thing is, like, when you see Justice Smith as a younger guy, like 3 years before, you're like, wait a minute, that looks nothing like Justice Smith. That's the point. That's the point. Yeah. And it's such a nostalgia-driven movie, but in a great way that isn't just like, oh, we're gonna throw like 40 needle drops of nostalgia or do this or do that. It's like it's giving you nostalgia in a way that is just making you reminded of nostalgia, but not the actual things.
Yes.
Other than if you can pick out Nickelodeon TV stars, because I don't know if you ever watched The Adventures of Pete and Pete. they're in the movie.
Yep.
And I think it was a terrific nostalgic choice to cast the toxic stepfather as Fred Durst.
Our boy Fred Durst keeps appearing on this show.
Yeah, the toxic 90s poster child is the toxic father. And he's great in that movie. I didn't even know it was him until after I saw it. I totally missed it. Because like another movie that came out this year, Y2K.
I was going to come to that next.
Yeah, he isn't blatantly spelled out like he is in that film. But
yeah. No, it was an emotional roller coaster watching that movie where it was one of those where I was just like you feel it. And like, I don't know why in particular, but it hit me really hard. And like the moment it ended, I was like, I need a fucking sequel and I need it right fucking now. And like, I started delving into interviews with the writers and directors. And I gave a sigh of relief when they said like 2-3 months ago that they want to do a sequel in like another year or so.
Yeah. I don't know what that looks like, but I would definitely watch it.
They said they want to do it from another perspective. So I'm guessing it's going to be a companion piece from the other person's standpoint.
That's probably a good idea.
Would be amazing because it would show them like escaping the shadow realm and coming back and all that stuff. Like,
yeah, really good. That's a movie I heard of very early on from festival circuits and was excited to see. So yeah.
I remember the day because I'm subscribed to the A24 YouTube channel, and the day that trailer dropped, like I watched it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is about, but the second I can watch it, I'm watching it. And I was satisfied. The actual show that they watch in it, the Pink Opaque, reminds me a lot of early Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep, that's
before Joss Whedon lost his shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Buffy and Are You Afraid of the Dark a little bit? Also.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you could tell Jane grew up watching those things.
Right. And I especially like near the end when Justice Smith was just like, oh, it's streaming now. I don't even need to watch it. And he's watching it and he's like, it's not even the same. It's childish now. And it's because you can tell that that's definitely like the whole thing is the shadow realm keeps taking further and he doesn't want to accept the fact that he's still stuck in it.
It's also that, but it's also like a double entendre because because part of nostalgia is, oh, that's so great. And then you go back and like, I bought Danger Mouse like DVD when I was like 25. And I'm like, Danger Mouse was the shit when I was 5 years old. And I popped it in and I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like this? I mean, yeah, it's for kids, but there's nothing for me there.
I was that way with there was this really short-lived TV series in like the late 80s that Rick Moranis did a voiceover for called Gravedale High. Okay. And you can find most of the episodes on YouTube. But yeah, like on Halloween, I was watching them and like the wife was like, what is this? And I'm like, it's Gravedale High. And I'm like, okay, it really hasn't aged that well. Because the whole thing is like Rick Moranis plays his teacher who teaches at this high school it's all like movie monster teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's cheesy, but it's still a little fun, but it's definitely not how I remember it.
Yeah, it's really, really elevated material. And yeah, glad you enjoyed it. I did it also. Very good.
Yeah. I need more. I need more. But yeah, so that takes us to the last A24 movie that I know we both saw was Y2K.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning to me before I even saw it that you were disappointed in it.
Super disappointed. One of my most anticipated movies in quite a while. And did not work for me at all.
See, I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I think I know what you loved the maximum overdrive of it all. I'm assuming
it wasn't even that. It was just the off the wallness of it. It was and I got to give it up to what was it? Who was the name of the Brian Mooney? I think is the guy that wrote Kyle Mooney. Yeah, from SNL who wrote it and stuff and played the hippie dude in it and shit. I thought like for his first outing, like I thought it was fucking great. I like once again, wifey was watching it with me, And at times she was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, I think, and I was like, I love it because it went from being like, it turned from Can't Hardly Wait into Tetsuo the Iron Man so quickly that you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Listen, I'm a huge fan of Kyle Mooney. I thought he was grossly underused in SNL. I understand why. It's alt comedy almost. It's very off the wall. He has a show on Netflix called Saturday Morning All Stars Super Hits, I think it's called.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched that.
And it's very left of center and very, bizarre, but I loved it. You got Kyle Mooney directing. I think he at least co-wrote. I'm like, okay, I'm in. It's Y2K. I lived through it. I'm like,
right, same here.
This is going to be great. I saw like it tried to be super bad with Maximum Overdrive. Superbad's fucking hilarious. This movie's not funny. Like
We differ on that. I hated Superbad. I didn't laugh once during it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, say what you want about Superbad. Like, I just didn't find this funny. I mean, I didn't laugh. Like, the kid from Deadpool 2, it was trying to be funny. It wasn't. Like, he does the thong song thing. It's cringe.
I could have done without that.
Yeah, and then like talk about needle drops and like used in a wrong way. They go from like room to room in that party, and they do a needle drop every 7 seconds, and it's like, dude, like give me like an extended slow motion or like something for a minute and a half with an awesome song like as a needle drop. Don't give me like 7 seconds of something just because I want to put all these songs I loved when I was like this age. And I just. It just didn't work for me. I mean, they even casted some good people. Like, I thought Alicia Silverstone is the mom. Perfect. Yeah. Like, just like Fred Durst with the dad and they saw the TV go, Alicia Silverstone as the mom is perfect. Tim Heidecker is hilarious. The man is hilarious. Great casting. But then you kill off most of the kids that are funny in the beginning of the movie, and you're left with like the nerdy Drip and Renee Ziegler or whatever her name is. And I mean,
I think that's why we differ on it, where I like, because like I compare the beginning to Can't Hardly Wait more than Superbad. That's how I see it. And then as far as what you're going with, like that, like the whole killing off these people and leaving these people, reminds me of Mars Attacks, which is another completely off the wall movie that like I know the wife hates, but I love.
At least there's some, I mean,
I had a ton of fun, and then like especially during the climax where it's all like Lawnmower Man, like I was like, I'm into this shit.
Yeah, it just I don't know. Maybe I was expecting something completely different. I just didn't love it, and then even like I didn't even think it was that great of a first like direct. I didn't think part of the direction. I didn't like some of the choices, and I was like, all right, maybe like it was shot weirdly sometimes, like. They were underneath Kyle Mooney, and I'm like, why are they shooting it like this? And then I thought, okay, maybe the cinematographer is also a first-time guy. Let me take a look and see if he's done anything else. No, this man shot the fucking Matrix, okay? Are you fucking serious? This guy shot the Matrix, among other amazing movies, might I add. I forget them off the top of my head, but that's the one I remember. Like, you literally shot the Matrix. And then this looks like this. I don't know how. Please. I don't know. Maybe he just said, yeah, Kyle, you got it. I see it. It looks good. You got it. Like, I was flabbergasted. Yeah. Biggest disappointment of the year for me, easily. Because not the worst movie I saw. No, that's not what I'm saying. But hype level for me here, delivered down here.
See, I had a ton of fun, and I will be rewatching this movie a lot in the future, just because
I'm glad you liked it. Check out his Netflix show though if you like Kyle Mooney. It's very good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Going through other movies that we may have both seen. I saw that you finally watched the first Smile. Did you get to Smile 2?
I did.
Okay, good.
Talk about how you make a sequel.
All right, good. Okay.
How you make a sequel. Yes.
Yes, because Smile 2, it was gonna have to up the ante from the first one. Because the first one is so contained to just the one person story and just a small knit group where it's like, how are we like the moment, like, because I know you avoid trailers, but the second I saw a pop star in the trailer, I'm like, I already know how this movie's gonna end, but I'm watching it anyway.
And I didn't until the ending, which is amazing. I can't wait to see what Smile 3 is.
That it opened up the door to so many possibilities because it happened in front of that many people and everyone's gonna have it now. I'm like,
yeah, it's such a great ending. It's such a great, the whole movie is terrific. It also just landed outside of my top 30. I don't watch trailers as we talk about, but I did see the original Smile trailer too many times, and every time I thought it looked like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, so I never watched it.
See, I don't remember seeing the trailer for the first one, but I remember the viral campaign, which I thought was amazing.
That was good. That was good. But the trailer, I was just like, this looks so dumb. No. And I just I said no. But everyone said how great Smile 2 was. So I know we were cramming a few movies that last week, and Smile 1 and 2 were on my list because I wanted to get to it. And I'm very happy I did.
Yeah.
Naomi Scott, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Excellent. She's excellent. It's funny. I had a friend of mine tell me that they think how original Smile is, and that's the only thing I don't agree with. I'm like, well, it's not really original.
No, because It Follows.
It Follows in Nightmare on Elm Street
and The Ring, because
like in Nightmare on Elm Street, they're seeing things, and then it snaps back into like, no, that didn't even happen at all.
Right.
Or this other thing is happening.
Right.
So I don't think it's wholly original. Obviously, the way you transmit it is different than It Follows. Wildly different.
Yeah.
But I still think it's great. I mean, they're both. The first one's very good too. I think the second one is far better, but they're both very good. Big fan of Smile 2, yes.
Sure. But like the moment she goes into that walk-in cooler, I'm like, she's gonna walk out on stage. I know it. And then
yeah, it wasn't until about 2 minutes left of the movie where I'm like, oh no, like it's happening here.
Yeah, and like the moment I'm like, oh my god, and like I love how they showed the restraint of not showing how she did it, but showing the aftermath. I'm like, that's just chef's kiss. Oh
yeah, very, really, really good, really good.
Yeah, that was. And what's amazing too is like the guy that plays her dead boyfriend, who's hardly in the movie, was used so much for the movie posters that I was expecting him to be in the movie more. But yeah, just
also the poster for Smile 2, you know that they were trying to play off of Joker 2.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't know Joker 2 was going to be what Joker 2 was.
Yep. Yep.
Funny.
But so speaking of, let's get to Joker 2.
Let's get to it.
Because I think you and I are both in a giant minority of people that liked it.
Didn't love it. Liked it.
Yeah.
Like what I kicked the show off talking about, Better Man, a wildly different musical biopic. They do something completely different.
Yeah.
Joker 2 does something completely different, for better or worse. Like, listen, you can like it and you cannot like it. I know there's a huge segment of people who don't like it only because it's shitting on their lifestyle and their thinking. Yeah. That's too bad, guys. Like, you're shitheads. Fuck off. Like,
this wasn't the movie for incels.
Yeah, no. Like, this was not like.
And I mean, granted, the first movie wasn't supposed to be this banner fucking anthem for incels. It just became one.
It became one because people said, "Oh yeah, that's me. That's cool. Yeah. Like, I'm celebrated now." And it's like, no, dude. Like, you're not. You're a shithead.
Yeah.
So Todd Phillips said, "Oh, you know what? I have an idea for the second Joker."
Right. And this is what I don't get, is because I saw so many like people talking about, like, you know, doing like, breakdowns of the trailer for Easter eggs and stuff. And so many channels talking about how they're like, oh yeah, they're saying that this is going to be like a jukebox musical. And then it comes out and people are throwing a fucking shit fit because it's a musical. I'm like, they said it was going to be one.
I sort of blame filmmakers because they tried to backtrack that.
They did. I actually, there's another YouTube channel I watch that covers a lot of Broadway stuff. It's called Wait in the Wings. And he actually did a video earlier in 2024, like in January, February, where he talked about movie companies doing trailers for movies that are actually musicals, but trying not to show it's a musical in it because they're like, they have this mentality that if they show that it is, it's not going to draw as much box office.
But and I think you see that definitely happened this year with Joker. Well, I never saw the Joker 2 trailer, so I don't know if they show singing at all.
They show like
Lady Gaga sing.
They don't show either of them singing. Well, they show Gaga doing just sitting there going, "Come on, get up, get happy," like while they're sitting there. Yeah. And then they show like a couple of flashes of them like doing like dancing on the rooftop and stuff like that. But so it was like supposed to be up for interpretation of those. Obviously, are things happening in their heads. Like I think we all got that from the trailers for those of us that did watch them. But like it irks me that people like got so mad, and I'm like, how can you get mad at this? Like, granted, some of the songs, like I would have rather had something else, but I mean, it was still, I enjoyed it. I don't understand why people are so mad.
Yeah, it's just it's also like the Mean Girls movie that came out this year.
I was gonna get to that too.
They don't show any singing in the trailer at all, and it's like,
right?
It's an adaptation of the stage play. Like, why would you try to hide that? I don't get that. It doesn't. And plus, like, again, what is the two biggest movies this year?
Wicked
and Moana 2, and they're musicals. I mean, and Mufasa's a musical, and that's huge too.
Yeah.
Already. Like,
I mean, I don't think for some reason people don't consider Disney movies musicals, even though they absolutely fucking are.
It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. So listen, there's a definite segment of people for musicals. Better Man will not be one of them. It will not make money. But if you like musicals, go see it because it's good. Like it's good. I mean, people, the Greatest Showman is made by the same guy that made Better Man. And it cost $85 million, and when it opened in America, it made $8 million the first weekend, and they thought this is a fucking disaster. Mm-hmm. And it grossed more in like the 7th week than the first weekend, and like that never happens today. Like that happened back when Titanic came out,
right?
But that doesn't happen today. You if you fail your opening weekend, you're dead on arrival. That's it. Yep. And Greatest Showman wasn't somehow, so maybe Better Man can be, but I doubt it. I mean, they obviously greenlit the movie under the budget it's at because this guy turned what Greatest Showman was until it turned. It would cost $85 million. It turned $500 million. So it's like they gave, we'll give him another $100 million to make a movie similar to that.
Yeah.
But listen, there's craving for musicals. So don't shy away from them. Just make them and wear them on your sleeve. And that's it. And again, Joker, did I want the same movie again? No. What does that serve? Like, did I think the first movie's better? Yeah, I do. It's two Scorsese movies with Joker. I mean, so it was funny. I saw a Letterboxd review from a pretty well-known TikTok movie critic guy, and he said he respected Joker 2. He didn't like Joker 2, and he thought a better idea would have been to just copy another Scorsese movie. And he said he thought for what Joker 2 was, Shutter Island would have been the one to go with.
I mean, it kind of was.
And I was like, yeah, it kind of is, but they could have gone like full bore Shutter Island, I guess. But yeah, I mean, again, Joker 2, enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but
I'll give it a watch from here and there. But yeah, I mean, whether they continue on with the property, I doubt. But if they don't, it's even better because it's so ambiguous that you're not sure where they were supposed to go, and it leaves it up to your imagination.
Correct.
So yeah, it's
I still don't know
a win for me.
I still don't know how it cost $200 million, but
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I kind of know they paid Joaquin Phoenix $20 million and Gaga 13. So there you go. There's 33 right there.
I mean, granted, between the explosion scene and the fire at Arkham, those are probably heavily, those probably cost a lot.
And he made them shoot it in LA, and David Zaslav was like, "How about we shoot it somewhere else?" And Todd Phillips was like, "How about I don't make it?"
I tell you, if David Zaslav makes it through this year, makes it through 2025, still employed by WBD, it'll be a fucking miracle.
I listened to the industry podcasts, and they seem to think because the stocks rallied that he's all right. But all right, whatever.
It's rallied right now. It's not, he's made some really, really terrible fucking decisions, and I'm telling you right now, if WBD does not secure UFC to replace their TV programming that they lost from NBA, Zaslav's going to give the fucking boot.
They don't. I know we're not a TV or whatever podcast, but he's not. He doesn't know how to. He's not a movie studio guy. Like,
nope.
I don't know why these people just think that these people are interchangeable. Like he wasn't. He didn't run a movie studio. He puts out movies, and then he like takes movies that have positive test screenings, like Acme, Coyote versus Acme, and then he just shelves them for tax write-offs. It's like, what did that do for you? Like it's just, I just don't get
it. Would be like if they decided to make Russell Peters the head of a fucking studio.
I don't know. That's for no. That's for
is that his name? Russell
Peters?
Fill up the guy that owns the rights to Batman that fucked up all that shit.
Oh, I'm not sure, but it's just like, we could go into a whole podcast.
You don't know? Yeah, that's it's the guy fucking. You never saw the documentary, The Death of Superman? What happened?
No.
Oh, it's on my drive. Go ahead and watch it. But it's the guy that owns the rights to Batman and Superman. He got into the industry as a producer because he was Barbara Streisand's hairdresser and they were dating.
Oh, not the guy. It's
John Peters.
It's the guy that Bradley Cooper plays in
Licorice Pizza. Yes.
Pizza. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's like if they made him the head of the studio. Like, he is so fucking out there and doesn't belong in that. But yeah. I know why I said Russell.
Got it.
Anyways. But yeah. So moving on from Joker, but because you mentioned it, did you see the Mean Girls that came out?
Yeah.
Me too.
Whatever. It was.
I liked it.
I mean, listen, again, I'd never watched it over the Mean Girls movie. It was fine. It was fine. I think the Lindsay Lohan, character, or whatever her name is, I forget her name.
Yeah,
terribly miscast. I don't know that girl. I only know her from Spider-Man movies, but she can't sing really. She's not very. It's not good. I mean, Renee Rapp kind of owns that movie.
Yeah, she does. And I mean, because they were smart, because she had done the stage production, so they brought her in for this, which was a smart move. Because I had wanted to see the stage production and I just didn't get around to it, so I was happy to see a movie version of it. I thought the interpretation of the original source material was done in a fun way. I do tell you that I felt like a fucking dirty old man when I was like sitting there watching the Indian girl, and I was like, damn. And then I'm like, she's at my age. Fuck.
I didn't think any of the songs were memorable. Like I can't even remember any of them. I mean, it's again, I'm not really a musical guy. I mean,
I am. I was a theater kid, so
yeah. I mean, well, I did theater, but I was never really into the musical aspects of it all. I mean, I like the musical I saw today because I know the material, and I like Wicked because it does have memorable songs in my opinion. But I just didn't think this had much. I'd rather watch the other movie any day of the week. So it's just like it was fine, whatever.
I enjoyed it, and I understand the one aspect that annoyed me with it, but I understand why they did it because of the generation that we're in, was certain things being filmed in a TikTok, Instagram live type of fashion. Yep. I kind of didn't like that, but at the same time, I'm like, I understand why, because it has to relate to a youth audience, which is who the entire movie is depicting.
Problem is in like 20 years, people are gonna be like, what is this? Like
true. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a time capsule.
You're gonna be like, what? So I want to touch on a movie you probably haven't seen.
Okay.
I highly recommend, especially from that like kind of nostalgia of like time capsule,
Mhm.
and it's called Didi. It's on Peacock.
Okay.
It's about an Asian kid whose dad goes off to either China or Taiwan, I forget, most of the time. So he's living with his mother in America with his sister. The dad's off. There's a granddaughter there, or grandmother there too.
Mhm.
And it's basically just coming of age story, but I thought really, really funny, really heartwarming. They literally show these kids going from the MySpace to Facebook, era.
Mhm.
There's a lot of AOL Instant Messenger in there, so it's it's good nostalgia also because they don't beat you over the head with it, but it's really good, really funny. Didi, I have that in my top 10 also.
Okay. All right. I'll volley back with a movie I know you haven't seen.
Sure.
That I actually thought it was better than I expected it to be. And that was Transformers 1.
Okay.
Because anyone knows me knows the entire Michael Bay franchise I cannot fucking stand. The only Transformers movie that I actually thought was enjoyable was Bumblebee.
Okay.
And that's really an outside of that franchise. They were going to try to link it in, but they never did. Thank God. But
would that be due to Haley Steinfeld? She's very good.
Possibly. I think it was just the subject matter and how they addressed it. And so it made it more enjoyable. But Transformers 1 for, CGI animated movie, especially being an origin story and someone who, I was hugely into fucking Transformers when I was 7 years old. I watched the television show religiously. The movie scarred me. I was one of those kids that was scarred for life by the movie. And then I remember it was a couple of years ago, Tubi put up the entire run of Gen 1, including the stuff that came out after the movie, which hadn't been out in America for a while. So I finally got to go back and watch that, and it was because I was just I really like these episodes, and then I never got to see them, and now I go back and watch them. I'm like, wow, literally the 2 seasons that they recorded after that they put together after the movie were blatant commercials for the toys. Blatant.
Yeah.
But I was still all right, but the thing was during those times it's they only touched on origins of certain things so much, so they were able to go back and do this wider world with an origin story of where Prime and Megatron first came from and why they became what they became and how they became what they became, and they did it in a fashion that was enjoyable, that the voice actors did well, even though it's one of those where you didn't need these A-list actors to do the voices, but they did it because they figured it would draw people in. Because Chris Hemsworth is the voice of Orion Pax, who becomes Optimus Prime, and Keegan and Michael Key plays Bumblebee.
Okay.
And Scarlett Johansson plays Alita 1. And all that, so there's a lot of big name actors in it, but it was still enjoyable. And it's weird because it's especially because the trailers made it loud. And granted, the first 2 acts probably are very high quality, not high quality, but very high humor. And then it gets dark real fucking quick.
Yeah, I can see that.
I got to one part where I had to pause it because they go and they introduce more characters, and I'm like, why the fuck is Steve Buscemi Starscream? But then because the thing was one of the scenes in it, because it's Steve Buscemi, you can tell it's Steve Buscemi right away, and I'm like, why the fuck did they make him Starscream? Because Starscream in the old cartoons always had this high-pitched kind of grainy voice, and you're like, why are you Buscemi could do annoying, but he's not that annoying. But then it's this whole scene where D13, the guy who becomes Megatron, they end up fighting, and he you see him losing his shit, and his eyes start turning into a different shade, and he's strangling Starscream, and you see him rip his vocal cords. And then after that, Buscemi goes to talk, and it's and I'm like, oh, Okay, that was fucking dark.
Man.
And
Well,
like,
I mean, maybe I'll
yeah,
check it out sometime.
It's like it's on the drive. But yeah, it got fucking dark, but it worked. And I was like, okay. Like, even if they never make another one after this, like just as a standalone for an origin story, okay, cool. This is good. I can tolerate this, and I can go back and watch this on another occasion.
I'll hit you with the highest animated films I thought this year. The first two of which have no dialogue. One is called Robot Dreams. It's
Sounds
very introspective and will definitely get you thinking about life if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The other has just won Golden Globe for Best Animated Film. It's called Flow.
Okay.
Actually, just one guy, I think, pretty much did the whole movie. And people sort of complain the cats and the animals, their texture isn't shaded correctly. That's a choice, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two really good movies. I'll give you one that is in my top 30 that I don't think anyone's ever heard of. It's called Mars Express, and it's a sci-fi, sort of like a Blade Runner type of film. Animated. It's French. It's about a detective and their android partner, and they are trying to solve a murder, and then it uncovers a huge conspiracy. Yeah, I saw it was leaving the theater after like showing for 5 days, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'll check it out before it leaves. So I really liked Mars Express.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Speaking of animation, there's a couple other things I want to touch on that were not released in theaters, but were new this year that I think were amazing. Amazingly enough, WBD properties. You can find them on Max. The 2-part animated Watchmen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm meaning to get to it. Yeah,
like especially if you're a fan of the original comic, it stays true to the original comic. Because I know a lot of people like they had like a little bit of a complaint as far as the Zack Snyder movie, even with the director's cut and the ultimate cut, because it's not completely the same as the comic, even though I completely enjoy Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Yep.
But this is definitely good for those who are Watchmen purists, who love the comic, and especially like, because I know a lot of people got confused when the HBO Watchmen series came out, because that takes place years after the original comic, but it follows the original comic. So a lot of people are like, what the fuck is going on? So now you can actually watch this 2-parter, then watch the Watchmen series, which God, I'm still pissed that it didn't get fucking removed. Anyways, but it was very good, worth watching.
Cool.
The other thing that I want to mention, and it came out in installments this year on Max, was the 3-part Crisis on Infinite Earth series, the DC Crisis on Infinite Earth. Anyone that's a major comic book nerd knows that was probably DC's biggest story arc ever. Like as far as DC goes, the 2 biggest things that in DC in the past 50 years have been Crisis on Infinite Earths and Kingdom Come. Crisis on Infinite Earths was basically done to consolidate Golden Age and Silver Age comics, because they had all these different things going on and they needed to figure out a way to do it. So they came up with Crisis. And it was like the whole thing where like it was this like huge like mural that you would see like in comic shops, where it would be on one side, it would be Superman crying with Supergirl in his arms dead with this giant lightning rift. And on the other side, it would be Superman with Wonder Woman in his arms dead and he's crying. And like the entire universe of characters behind him. It was this big thing. And so the second I heard they were doing Crisis, I was like, shit, because they actually almost did it in 2022 or 2023, where they released this 1-parter called Infinite Crisis, which everyone thought was going to be that. It was a completely different story. The whole basis of this, though, is, and you don't figure out what's going on until the 3rd movie, and so it's an investment, because all 3 together is like over 6 hours. Which is good, because the comic arc took over a year to do. So it's good that they invested this amount of time into this property. The beautiful thing is they took what was the comic book, but they updated it to include everything that's in the DC WB animated property series. So you get this crossover stuff, and because the one thing about WBD is you can take or leave their live action DC movies because a lot of them have been shit. But the animated direct to streaming, or the old, we always call them DC Direct, the animated DC Direct movies are almost always fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to make that stuff work,
Right. And the thing is, like, Crisis on Infinite Earth could have been released in theaters. And I don't understand why I don't understand why they never try with any of these animated properties. But it was because they have they have some name actors doing voices in them, but it's a lot of the same, like, everyone knows the character actors, but like Jensen Ackles is in it from Supernatural and stuff. So the thing is, Jensen Ackles plays basically the WB DC Direct Batman. He does the voice, or no, Batman or Superman, I forget which. But there's a part it starts in part 2 and bleeds over into part 3, where there is one world that things are happening on, where it's the DC Direct Batman, but also the Batman, the animated series Batman, being voiced by Kevin Conroy. It was the last shit he recorded before he died.
Yeah.
And also the guy that did the voice of Terry McGinnis on Batman Beyond in the 90s is thrown in there because that wasn't in the fucking comics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just they decided we're going to update this in a way where we can, and just the entire culmination of everything. It's not for kids. It's a very depressing watch for most of it.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yes, but it is worth the time, especially now that all 3 parts are out and they're all on Max. You can binge them if you want. If you got a weekend, it's heavy. It's not, it's not your kids' animation, and it deserves more attention because it's better than what they've been putting out on the big screen.
Yeah, well, we'll see when they restart this year. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. So I guess to kind of wind it down, I'll just touch on the rest of my top 10 that I didn't talk about, and just
okay. I'll see if I've seen any of them because
first I have Dune Part 2. Probably a boring pick, but
did not see.
No, you haven't seen Dune 1 either?
I didn't watch the first one, so yeah, it for some reason it just doesn't interest me.
If you like epic scale sci-fi, definitely watch it. If you can take it or leave it, then I understand that. But but yeah, I mean, Denis Villeneuve's just, I mean, it's amazing he's able to envision and put on screen. So
yeah.
I also have Challengers at number 2.
I wanted to watch that, but I haven't yet.
Yep. Great trio of actors. Mike Weiss, Zendaya, and Josh, forget his last name. I won't say something wrong. The score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross fucking rips. They will win the Oscar for it again.
Josh O'Connor,
yeah. Really good up and coming actor. So that Challengers is awesome. I have 2 horror thrillers at 4 and 5: Strange Darling and Longlegs.
Longlegs was, I believe we're going to look back years from now on Longlegs and say that was a classic in the making.
Yeah. Osgood Perkins, I mean, has an eye. He has
in and out of the fucking park. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to The Monkey next month. He's the new movie. And then I've talked about the rest of these, except for number 9. I have Nosferatu. Eggers
which I have not seen yet.
Yeah, Robert Eggers, man, he's 4 for 4. I like some of them better than others, but this is great. I've never seen the original Nosferatu or anything, but
what?
Yeah, I have. I just haven't seen it, but
I've seen it on the big screen.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah.
But I did see there's a movie from the 2000s called Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh God, I love that movie. Me and Mark
Yeah.
saw that in the theater together when it came out.
Yeah, I saw it with my one of my friends too in the theater. Yeah, we loved it. So funny that Defoe is in both of these movies, but yeah. So Nosferatu is great. I almost went to see it again Wednesday night in the Dolby Cinema because it's in 4K and everything, but I didn't want to get home like after midnight, so I just said, I'll just probably buy it. Fine, whatever. And then lastly, I have the movie that was the biggest surprise for me this year. It's on Netflix, so everybody can watch it. It's called Kneecap, and it's about an Irish rap group called Kneecap. It's a musical biopic starring the actual rap group in the movie. Sort of like 8 Mile, but they don't shade it as like this is kind of like my story. No, this is their story, and they play themselves. And
almost like a Straight Outta Compton, except with the actual people.
Yeah, but it's just really, really sticks to the actual events and everything. Nothing really changed.
Okay.
And, I didn't know anything about them, so how would I be in, but I would,
Right.
music is good, even though it's in their Irish language, so it's not even, it's not English. And the film is kind of filmed in like the Train Spotting vein.
Okay.
It's got a lot of cool things going on with the editing and everything else. I really loved Kneecap. That was probably my most surprising movie this year. That's just about it. That's everything in my basically my top 10.
So wait, so The Substance wasn't in your top 10?
12.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I finally got around to watching The Substance.
Great movie, right?
Yes. Far different from what, granted, very ambiguous trailers, but far different from what the trailers led me to believe.
I'll give you a couple tidbits before you go into your thoughts. Originally, that was supposed to Dennis Quaid, who is great in it, ironically playing Reagan the same year, so 2 villains in 1 year. That was originally supposed to be why am I blanking on the name? Ray Liotta was supposed to be that in that role.
Oh.
Yep. And they not only use a stunt ass for Demi Moore because her ass looks better than that. They had to use someone's ass who looks worse.
Yeah.
They also used prosthetics on Margaret Qualley's chest because they wanted to look as perfect as possible. So
yeah. See, I Demi Moore for being 70 looks fucking amazing.
I don't sell her short. I think she's only 62, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought she was 70. I thought that was like the whole thing.
I think she's only 62.
Okay, so wow, so my bad on that, but still,
I'll double back
62. Like, damn.
No, she looks great. Yeah,
she looks amazing, and especially to have. I mean, granted, so they used a stunt for some of it, but still to have that confidence for that level of body positivity, like, and any woman over the age of 50 to be able to do that on camera, like, more power to them.
This I talk about like this year being like, oh, this is the year of the photojournalism movie. This is the year of this. This is the year of this. This is also the year of actresses of a certain age, just putting it all out there.
Yes,
Demi Moore is one. Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl is the other. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So. Yep.
Well, yeah, I dug it because I was expecting something completely different because all I heard was body horror. So that's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting a Jekyll and Hyde, and then it turning into From Beyond, and then early Peter Jackson in the last act. Yeah,
the worst body horror-ish part is only the last 15-20 minutes.
Right, and it literally goes from Beyond into Peter Jackson, where fucking everything's spraying everywhere.
So I'm going to miss. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
The only thing that I could have done without is the very last shot. The moment that there's the splatter and there's her face in just that little glob, I was like, it's going to fucking inch to the Hollywood star, isn't it?
Yep.
I was like, I could have done without that. Like, because at the, like, I thought the allegory for what they were doing in the opening 2 minutes with the Hollywood star and how he becomes faded and cracked and all that shit, and people spill on it and forget about, like, I get the allegory. It didn't need That last shot.
It also snows in that opening shot.
Yeah, in fucking LA.
But that's because the movie is supposed to be a fable. So
The snow globe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna botch her name, but the director Coralie I think it's Fargat. I think it's a hard T, not I thought it was a soft T. It's Coralie Fargat. I'm actually, after I get off this podcast in about 5 minutes and go pick up my food.
Carly Fargo. Oh,
yeah.
No, Fargat.
I think it's Fargat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After I end the podcast and go get my food in 5 minutes or so, I'm gonna come home and watch her other movie, Revenge, which I haven't seen.
Cool.
And if you like The Substance, she has a 22-minute short film called
you mentioned
Reality Plus, and it's definitely planted the seeds of The Substance. So I recommend it, and it's also like 20 minutes. So
Yeah. No. Yeah. I thought that was a banger of a movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. Did you see Alien Romulus?
Did
you like it?
Liked it. I like it better when it's not doing the same beats of the other.
Yeah.
Love the world building. I'm looking forward to a sequel because I think they can definitely do something
different. Yeah. I know we both saw the 4:30 movie.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Oh, okay. Mark saw it and hated it.
Yeah, when I can stream it somewhere, I'll see it.
It's on my Plex drive.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I paid too much.
I liked it. I thought it was a good teenage rom-com. Yeah, I don't understand why Mark hated it so much.
We'll see. I'll give it a look. I mean, I'm a guy who liked Clerks 3, so
yeah. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire came out this year. We didn't even touch on that.
It's, again, fine. I mean, I
liked it.
I thought Afterlife was pretty perfect to what they could do, and I think it could have just been left there.
But Frozen Empire, you can tell, is definitely they're trying to build a cinematic universe for spin-offs.
I also thought the villain could have been like the scariest villain in Ghostbusters history, and then it was overly CGI'd and terrible, and I was like, "This okay?" So you could have been really cool, and it wasn't. So
it could have been. Yeah,
I didn't love it.
I mean, it was fun. Let's see here. Did you know? I know a lot of people don't realize. Did you know a new Hellboy movie came out this year?
Yeah, but it's like it's only PVOD, and it didn't get into release anywhere. So
I watched it. It's on the drive. It was enjoyable.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's like a prequel. It takes place in the early 60s.
It's got the HRPV or PD or whatever.
The department. Yeah, it's basically and it's a Jack Kesey playing Hellboy.
I would watch it. It didn't get great reviews, but it's got to be better than a David Harbour one. So
I liked that. Me and Mark saw that in the theater and loved it.
Oh no, man!
But no, you'll enjoy this. It's very more of a serious tone because it was written and directed by the guy who did the comics.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I will definitely give it a watch. Now that I know where to find it, I'll give it a watch for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I've got it on there.
Cool.
Did you see Afraid?
No.
I did. I know a lot of people are shitting on it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. Because basically it's a killer AI movie, except it's not really killer AI, but I think people don't like it because of the fact that once you watch it and you sit back and think about it, it's the most realistic of any AI-centric movie that's come out, and I don't think people like that. Because it's one of those where basically near the end, you're like, oh, yeah. Like, you have that thought of, well, yeah.
Well, if they don't like it now, they're not going to like it soon.
Right. But I think people don't like it because of how realistic it is, for lack of a better term.
For sure.
So did you see? Oh, go ahead.
I said I didn't want to cut you off, but I do have to run. So
okay. So real quick, did you see American Society for Magical Negroes?
I did. I love David Alan Grier. I didn't think it was terrific, but I thought it was interesting in parts.
I thought it was an okay rom-com.
Yeah.
A couple other things I just want to touch on before you go of movies that people may not have seen but are worth a watch. Blackwell Ghost Part 8. It's
haven't heard of
the Blackwell Ghost is it's a mockumentary series. Some people say it's mockumentary, some people say it's found footage. It's every movie continues on from the last one came, and every movie's only like an hour long. So, but Blackwell Ghost Part 8 worth watching. Movie that I just watched a couple of days ago, Haunt Season, as far as a different take on a Halloween slasher that takes place in a Trail of Terror type setting. Smarter than it should be. Well done. Worth a watch. As far as another slasher movie that came out that I just watched that I know I spoke to you about was the fuck was it? Stream. Okay. Which I thought was funny was right after I watched it, literally 8 minutes after I watched it, I put on YouTube and Nostalgia Critic had just put up a Doug review saying, I just watched a screener copy of this. So but that's the movie that anyone that follows me on Letterboxd, it's one of the few that I've done a review on where I have dubbed it a convention movie.
Oh yeah. You told me. Yeah.
Yeah, which for anyone who's looking into it, a convention movie is my own definition. It's a term that I've coined where it is usually a horror movie, could be sci-fi, where there is a plethora of actors who are known for other horror or sci-fi properties, mostly that came out in the 80s or 90s, who now make a living on the convention circuit doing autographs, which is completely fine. But so this kind of perpetuates where people say, I know them from this, and then it's a new property for them to push at conventions. Because that movie was, because it's not cameos, the people actually have roles in it. But in Stream, like there were just so many fucking people in it. Dee Wallace, Danielle Harris, what do you call it? Jeffrey Combs, Tony Todd, yada yada. The only person who shouldn't have been in it is Sydney Malachi, who plays the daughter. She was fucking terrible. She cannot act. The rest of the movie was great except her. The one other thing that I did dig from that movie was these people meet up in the hotel and these two French guys are like, yeah, we're in America. We're going to see First 211 in concert. And I'm like, I know First 211. I follow them. They're a cover band who got famous on YouTube.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and they're really good, but worth watching. Also, we didn't even touch on it, but Saturday Night came out this year.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Terrifier 3, great gore fest. If you love gore, it's a great. I still like the lore and Terrifier 2 more, but Terrifier 3 was fun. I did not see Wicked. I still need to see Stop Motion and Night Bitch. Ricky Stenicki was a fun comedy, John Cena movie that came out this year.
That's fine for streaming. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Mark's going to be depressed that he doesn't know about this, but they did a legacy reboot of Street Trash this year.
Oh, I heard about this, and
it's on my drive. I haven't watched it yet, but apparently I know it takes place in South Africa.
Never seen Street Trash before.
Street Trash is a weird fucking movie, and you either love it or you don't. And I'm in the don't category.
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil, another one worth a watch that I really liked.
Yep.
And I think that's everything that I wanted to touch on that I've actually seen.
Cool.
We got through the list. Yeah, because that was a lot of shit. But yeah, so one other horror movie that I know people are giving a lot of shit to, but I didn't think was that bad was Spin the Bottle.
I didn't see it.
It's on the drive. It's an okay watch. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's not as bad as people are making it out to be.
Cool.
So yeah, okay. Greg's got to go get food. I got to take a piss.
We'll pick here.
Oh shit! Yes, sorry, my bad. Oh fuck! Damn,
I got the most important part.
I was going to put up a graphic, but I didn't. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning of season 2. For those of you who are new to it, season 2, the rules are we have 11 episodes this season instead of 10. End of each episode, we all have a jar that we draw from or whatever. We pull it random. We have 10 random selections of movies. During the following show, the dealer's choice is to give the reason for the pull either before the review or the end of the review. Movies must be available online in some form or another so we can direct people to it. The one different rule this season that I have added is because last season was 10 episodes. This season's 11 episodes. Granted, you're not going to know what Mark's pull is until we actually get to episode 1 of season 2. is there is an extra selection in all of our containers that is simply labeled wild card. What it is, it's like Texas Hold'em, where you have the river. So what happens is, if one of us pulled a wild card, what you will know is that sound effect. And what happens is that will be the opportunity for the person that pulled it to name off another movie that they may have been thinking about that should have gone in the jar right then and there on spot. And that'll be the movie that we have to review. So,
what do you got? Oh, I got mine already. While you shake yours, I'll give mine.
What is yours, Greg?
1978's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Okay. And my first pull of season 2 is 2007's Chicago 10.
All right.
And you're going to have to wait until Mark actually gets back to us from being sick to let us know what his selection is, but stay tuned to the channel. Hopefully in 2 weeks, episode 1 of season 2 will be here with us. So we're looking to record around the 23rd or 24th of January.
Sounds good. Can't wait. I'm gonna let you end things as I run out of here because my place closes in 4 minutes.
All right, I'm sorry, dude.
No, man, it's all good. I appreciate it.
All right, take it easy.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See y'all next week. Later.
I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to.